Good evening, social media. It's Sunday, June 28th, 5:18 p.m. in Irvine, California. I'm Charles Damin Vong for DaoIsTheWay. What have I learned from my life experience? What can I, if someone were to ask me, now, what do I, what I have learned, if, you know, if I was to have kids, or if I was in charge of teaching kids, you know, I think the issue, if I was a parent, which something I never, ever, ever, ever want to do, by the way, there is, I can barely get out of bed. No, I can barely get out of bed. So, it used to be I can do a lot more, but probably if I have kids, I probably will do more. The guilt, and I'll guilt them. I'll essentially become like my mother. If I had kids, I probably would become like my mother. Oh, you caused me this misery, bitch. I'm sorry. No, but my point, I think what I really could have been more is mindful of understanding. I did learn. Remember, I wasn't a dumb kid. So I was trying to what I the way I my mom has always been critical, extremely critical, and she said that it's because I love you. That's the reason, I have to point out, your fault, your flaws and all. But that doesn't really build your confidence and all. You see, it just essentially end up making you feel. Actually, to be honest, you just don't want to do it after a while. You say, why bother? Because nothing. That's not how you motivate people, mother. That's not how you motivate. I studied. I did study learning theory. Actually, conditioning, positive reinforcement. Pablo. Basic psychology class 101. I don't think they teach that in Vietnam. I think in Vietnam, I think they had a different sense of psychology. Yes, they do. That there's a whole different understanding about personality and trait and all. And it ties to karma, and I don't know. You can ask my mother what she think about other people and me. I definitely think more in the way, well, obviously more in an American way, because I did learn, I did study these things in social science, and I have been to therapy. Many times. My life has not been cheap. I confess, I spent a lot of money on trying to learning about myself and knowing more about myself and all. So what I can say that that I have been working hard on as an adult was just to be able to keep up with the Jones, and just and essentially just to, for my friends all end up making more money than I ever did. But I remind myself that I enjoy my work and everything was stable, work, housing, and things. And, as long as I keep in budget, I wasn't going on trips and they had vacation and buying home, and I can barely pay my bill every month kind of thing. So, having a roommate helped. So I essentially kind of I mean, what happened in my life, I guess, would be saying that I was aware that if I remember thinking about this, the after graduating college, there was opportunity to work for floor if I wanted to. Bill Fleming was higher, and actually he offered a great job, but it would be essentially deployment to what was it, in Afghanistan, or was it in 2000? Where in 2002? Where was Iraq or Iraq? I think it's Iraq, right? 2002. If I was to work for floor, I think it would be Iran actually. No, Saudi. It would be Saudi. Where was the oil? I think it was no. I think it was the Iraq War, wasn't it? Doesn't matter. Whatever. It would be essentially, and there would be bomb and all. But it seemed like cool though. I really respect Bill Fleming. Bill Fleming and I had a lot of conversation. I mean, he's very smart, and I love his sensibility. I love his social awareness. I got him to hire Wing as his secretary. I got tired of dealing with Wing, so I asked Bill. I was like, Bill, can you hire Wing to work, please? Just give him any work. That was the world I live in. No, there was a time when there were people asking me, do you know anyone, who I can hire to do IT and all? No, Jerry, I wasn't lying to you that I had job offer, but dude, I did. So they did give me a promotion. Right, Dave Lyman? Fuck bullshit. No, I mean, I've always been a fighter, and then something happened. No, really, my mother has made me into a fighter, because I essentially say, fuck you, I will be able to live on my own and be independent without you. Do you get my point? Because in Vietnamese culture, you're nothing without your family. You're nothing without your family. In Asian culture, you are nothing without your family. No matter how much money you have. Of course, they'll probably want to make you family, though. If you have wealth, they probably will want you to be adopted as an uncle or adopted, I should have went for greed. I should study finance and went for greed. That would have been the way to go. I didn't realize when I learned how accounting can be very creative. I thought, oh fuck, how do you think when I finally learned? Because part of my job, I have to specify, people where the money is going. So I learned how to create different labels. But I'm thinking, when I finally figured out how creative accounting people can be, I'm thinking, I should have majored in accounting. It would have been a lot more. I think I would have make more money. I'm not business savage. I mean, I'm more of a strategist. I was very good at seeing opportunity, and kind of. So I was an opportunist for a while. What have I learned? Let's just say that what I learned when I went in college was that I felt I was unprepared to be an adult on my own. I felt overwhelmed, and I felt depressed a lot. Well, partly because I just say fuck you to my mother. I mean, at 19, but I think every parent should try to teach their kids how to be independent adult. I think that is actually the key. How to be able to be feel well adjusted, and be on their own and feel love and support that and feel they can have confidence in themselves, trust their judgment. Like what you want a healthy human being to be like, right? To be rational and to be able to feel and think and be full human being and not live in fear, but to be a full realized human being at every age possible, from birth to death. Can that person be completely conscious, be present, and just living in the present moment without fear? That's what I mean about living in the present moment, right? So my personal experience would be, if I was want to teach myself anything from child worth manner, it would be essentially not to have any fear, period. So how do you teach a child not to be afraid, mother? How do you teach yourself not to be afraid? Like you said, you used to not be afraid at all, remember? We crossed the ocean, bitch. No, she said God help. She said the Buddha helped her. Really? The Buddha helped you, huh? Yeah, the Buddha helped me do a lot of things during, when I tried to go out hook up for sex. The Buddha really helped me. Lucky I didn't have any STD. Yes, I did. I had to take, no matter how much, meaning even if you have STD that are just touching, like pubic lice. Oh my God, I couldn't believe how difficult. Luckily, luckily I'm a smooth person, but someone else I know wasn't it, and that was embarrassing to spread that out. Oh my God. So no, I mean, this whole idea that we think when we're lucky, we think it's a miracle or it's God grace, versus just randomness. But the whole thing would be is the real rational thing to do if we were truly cooperative people in human species, the way we're talking, the way the evolutionary biologists are talking, is it because we're into cooperation. Well, yes, but we also during those times, we most likely just live in the present moment. We don't think billion years at a time. The concept of billions. Do you see how meaning the question? I mean, I'm talking about, even if we did think that multiple life, like the Hindu has actually believed, and the Aztec and all, meaning there are other people other than that believe. The Hindu pretty much come close to what the scientists believe, the birth of the planet Earth and all these things. So there's the concept of time is from different culture, had different idea. But what I'm talking about is more of being present, meaning there wasn't the idea that will be technological. They didn't have the information. That's good, God. That's what exactly what I think I finally understand what Neil Postman was meaning, that we were seeking knowledge, but now we have too much knowledge. Do you get the problem? Do you understand there's such thing as too much information? And so before, what we do is, and then there's too much choices, and what's the right word? Well, before there was there was small group of people that was the upper class, and everyone was poor. And actually even before hunter and gatherer, there isn't, actually if I remember that's correct, it's only when you have urban and all that you think about wealth. But when you are a hunter and gatherer, there isn't that kind of wealth capital, that kind of idea of wealth. So we would be, I think the question here is that we forget that the future is really our collective consciousness because that is just the present moment and what we think the future. And this whole idea that we think the future can be sci-fi, like what we read in science fiction and all, that's not how it works, people. Our human nature still stay the same. But what does it mean to have the human nature, though? You see, that's the thing that I think that what this idea that is that we're fighting over superficially. The politician are trying to get you to focus on BS bullshit thing versus seeing how they rob you of your children's future and your future as well, thinking that there's such thing as a trillionaire. Think about it. A trillionaire. I mean, what kind of bullshit crap the idea of capitalism was limited resource. A trillionaire is not limited resource. So my experience, I think now, is that the fear that the Asian culture people are worrying about, get your career, having kids, trying to meet family standard and trying to whatever. The thing that I think everyone could do is teach their kids how to be present. And I wish I did, because now I can see how much healthier I would be if I know how to relax and play and just calm down and have fun versus always being busy with something. Busy, 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 and not being able to relax. Even now, I don't know how to relax. I just know how to lie in bed and kind of like not being depressed. Not right now, but what normally happened. And that I wish I had been more able to. I remember this. I think this. I mentioned maybe. I wish I had been able to. I finally was able to play at work. I mean, work was play. Work was, I was learning new technology. Excuse me, and we were. I definitely enjoy all the new challenges and all. It was getting overwhelming, to try to keep up with all the technology and all. And so, but it was fun, challenging though. And I definitely was interested in organizational learning and definitely interested in creating a better, training course in online tutoring, and all the combined together was how to build a better knowledge base about all my client, keeping their whatever promises I made, warranty and software and licensing and all the paperwork to take care of the computer lab and all the agreement, and all I needed a better information database system. And I couldn't get the programmers in my department to change the database to fit my need. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I have to learn database and then build my own database to fix this problem. And then it got me fascinated on the idea of how do you, what the attribute you put in, and how do you separate those field and objects and all. And it got me back to thinking object-oriented programming. And it got me thinking back into thinking, no. My point was that there was always something there was always learning, and so I did enjoy that. And I guess now I'm trying to go back to being able to just remembering things, and the AI does help. But I'm thinking, I guess I think I can. I'm what I can tell. I guess I was. these, I mean, since all those things are in the past, so what do I want to do in the present? The present I can think is right now is that I wish I face and dealt the anxiety. I mean, because this anxiety is very old. I know this anxiety from birth. I mean, not from birth, but essentially since I was aware, since I can talk to my mother and have a relationship with my mother, I have this anxiety forever. I mean, I pee in my bed and all. I mean, so exactly that. I have anxiety. I mean, I remember that's the reason why they couldn't take me onto the lac, because I was a bedwetter. And I didn't stop bedwetting because, until way later, until 7 years old or so. And we know what bedwetting is childhood anxiety. Kids with anxiety, they pee in the bed. Instead, she beat me up and get me more upset and angry at the fact that I pee in my bed. So she created more anxiety for me. No, my mother was my worst anxiety all my life. Still is to this day, I hope she died happy, but, I doubt it. She seemed like she wants to be miserable, so let her be miserable. She does seem to want to be miserable, though. That woman keeps crying every time I talk to her. And I wasn't being mean or saying, stick in the present moment, mother. Stick in the present moment. So I think that it is important if I was a parent, I would want my kids to know and enjoy play, learn to connect to people and socialize and have fun, and then let them grow and enjoy life by experience fun, and that the motivation of fun and interest and curiosity be fine, because there's no future left. There's no such thing as a career anymore, in the sense that what do you train now when you have AI to tell you the structure of something, and essentially to be an analytical thinker. Work teach you to a process. The question is, how do you improve the process over time? That's what we call learning. But if AI can tell you that and optimize the process, and also watch and modify it over time, and it's just meaning it's a mechanical process, just like you get bored of your work, right, after a while, because it's no longer creative, you get used to the routine, right, because you learn all the routine and all, you get bored, correct, people? Then you want new challenge, new thing, right? I hope that's the case. At least that's what I think of learning and motivation. And that's what I think of lifelong learning. So my point is that now that the nature of your job is really to always learn, and learn in different environment, and be able to be, not to be able to be open-minded, to be new experience, and constantly learning in different situations, and be more socially aware of your environment. Is and the fact is, the younger generation is doing that already. Look at them; they travel the world. They experience different culture early age. So unlike me, even though I did experience, no, never mind, I already experienced completely two different world cultures. So yeah, I know it well. But I'm talking about that. But I did not travel. I mean, there's different. Traveling for leisure and traveling for, it would have been great. I think if I had the finance, I would have loved to do something like the Peace Corps or something, or to go backpacking around Europe and Asia, and, kind of be a kind of like able to read and philosophy and study. I mean, just study people's culture. I mean, I remember enjoyed reading world history, studying world history in different culture and all. And so I would have really enjoyed just if I had the leisure uh, life instead of going directly to work, work, work. Shit. And then spend the last decade worrying about work and being depressed about the same stupid shit you thought you solved in your 20 to 30, meaning, it took a decade, but I thought I solved that in my 30, by 30, for God's sake. People stop wanting to hear the same repeated story too. So I can't, even people I talk to, complain to, even I got tired of hearing myself repeating the same complaint about myself. I had to stop thinking about it. I really did. I remember exactly. I even told, let's go outside. We keep visiting each other at city, right? I think we need to go outside the city now. We should go do something different, and, so that we can give each other some time, a break. Give each other we actually had a vacation, which was great. It allowed me to have some great time traveling with Tom. No, I can't really complain about my life. I mean, I really did live the best possible life. I have no grief. I mean, I really, if I die tomorrow or from an accident or something or whatever, I did the best I can, and I try to learn from my mistake. This wasn't a mistake. That's my point. I was just asking for help, and people got upset because now he's a drug addict for using marijuana. I'm thinking, you have no idea how much pain I am in, and this marijuana is helping me process this pain. That's all. It allowed me to feel relaxed. It allowed me to feel like, really, when you feel kind of heavy, you know how you feel sometimes light, and that's why you will like, people want a heavy blanket or something on top of them to sleep, because because feeling heavy is kind of nice, especially when you want to fall asleep, when your body feels heavy. That's that feeling I did not have. And this feels relaxed, like, oh, I don't want to get up, kind of thing. No, I was begging for sleep. I needed sleep. I remember how much lack of sleep I had. That was the biggest thing that causes me to almost. I did, lose it. Came very close to. I keep falling asleep, and I couldn't. It was very stressful taking the train from Zurich to Lucerne. Oh my God, it was so. And Lucerne, it was in the middle of winter too, so it was dead but beautiful. Though Lucerne was still beautiful, but I would go visit Switzerland in the fall or in the late spring, not summer. I will never go visit summer in Europe again. No, just kidding. I feel bad for the heat. Oh my God, I can't believe how hot it is. Shit. That's hot. 40 Celsius? 42 Celsius? Oh my God, that's hot. That's hot. So, my learning experience, but also the pattern I noticed was also that every time you think you have to look at a problem and look at the big picture when you're trying to solve. That's one thing about Neil Postman mentioned, that every time we use technology to solve something, we also open another, issue and all. It's very much you understand trade-off. And every time when we implement a new technology or offer a new service, we know there's consequences, and then people would ask, why do we choose this versus that? There would be a bunch of debate and all, and it'd be frustrating. Nothing it's done in the bureaucracy in an efficient way. There's committee, and then there's committee arguing over committee, and you have to pick the committee. First, you have to pick the committee member, then you have a committee, and then you know do research together, and then have to write a report, and it's a bunch. I mean, I'm surprised we get anything done on campus at all, to be honest with you. I asked Dave Linen had a program for training to be a manager. And I also asked if I can get accepted to be that program. Finally, he agreed to give me that program. Sorry, I trigger about how to deal, I guess from my own personal experience, dealing with being marginalized or being passed by because you're not a woman. I think there's a group of people that, you know, we can see who gets promoted, who didn't, kind of thing. Right? Dave Linen and Schoenfeld. Sorry, it got me to feel. It's been a long time since I think about how you see that I did process the past. I don't think, I mean, because I know, because one thing, okay, I think that people, because I have been in the same group of people for 20 years, I did grow up again. I became an adult, meaning they all, I mean, the point is that just like my mother will always think of me as a child, the problem with the people I know, it was difficult for them to look at me that, you know, I wasn't the 20-year-old in 1994, that I, you know, now, you know, I look at all the stuff I did. I mean, especially with Dave Linen and Jeff and Jerry Keys. I mean, I should definitely have been promoted and all. And it was unfair how I was treated. I mean, I fucking created a whole entire new, they didn't want it to, but I expanded our RT department and listened to the staff, to the faculty. The faculty really was angry, especially the people who came bring in with huge research grant and have buy all this computing and all, and they have to have the grad student doing computing support versus, you know, the IT staff, and they have to pay more money to the university from the grant cut, from the grant money, the grant, the UCI increase. You know, people who have to write, you know, because if you want to be a faculty, you need to write grant, you need to publish, and you need to have grant money, publish or parish, and you also need to grant money, and to keep constantly looking for grant money. And the university get a cut out of you, and in order for you to become a faculty, you know, you need to have grant money. It's very competitive, actually. Actually, I used to think the academia for is similar to Hollywood. It does feel like that. I remember I used to compare the two. Think when, you know, I know nothing about Hollywood other than studying organization. Meaning when they talk about thing, but I know nothing. But I would imagine it's about faculty with you know, publication or perish, right? It's about status. And so the same thing in Hollywood, meaning it's like, you know, how popular is your art, and so they're both about status, symbol, and maintaining. So yes, they both are the same. You want to be the celebrity, you know, of faculty. You want to be the expert in your area of field, so that everyone know your name, kind of thing. So it's about publishing and being on committee, and, you know, all those things. So that's why being in academia is similar to that of being in, well, being in the movie industry, being movie star and all. So what can I say about learning about myself? I think that if anything, the biggest issue, if you can teach someone to not be afraid, fearful, I think they will be able to face whatever, challenges like being marginalized, being, being mistreated and all, with much better awareness if you have built that center of calmness and of not anxious and just play, then you meet the world in a different, state of mind. It's true. When I'm not anxious, I am much more. I don't see the people. I don't see that guy as, or even when you're drunk, even the same thing. You have much nicer look. You don't. At least for me, I'm more outgoing when I'm not drunk. But the cool thing with marijuana is that my fight flight response, and I'm much more comfortable talking to stranger and able to have a conversation with them. And whereas if with normal self, I usually very anxious, and it took me a while to be comfortable to be able to feel travel alone and be alone and kind of thing, because so that's the thing that was difficult, being how I was live a very sheltered life because of the way my mother fear about me being gay and being a bad boy or whatever bullshit. Fuck you, bitch. I will never forgive my mother for that, to be honest with you. Never will. And the bitch will never think that she does anything wrong anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter right now. Just try to remind her, I know everything you teach me for the last 50 years, bitch, so I'll remind you again, you are not old when you were 47 years old. Or 50. Oh, I'm too old to learn change. I'm too old to change. And what do you think now? Sorry, Mom. You lied, bitch. Of all the love, kindness, I want her to die happy, not in fear. There's no heaven and hell. There's just the present moment. And yes, you are unhappy because you believe you were not good enough. Why do you not believe you're not good enough, Mother? What else are you lacking? What are you afraid of? What could you possibly be afraid of? Death? Oh, come on now. Death is just natural part of life, right? Oh, shit. No, I think that if in uncertain time, whether if I was to have a kid now, and if I was responsible for any children, the first thing I will want to teach them is how to calm down and try to relax and have fun and be a play. Play as long as possible, have fun. There will be serious time come along, whatever. You get horny, you become attached, you're gonna want to fight, all those things comes naturally. Your aggression comes in. I mean, that's exactly what teenage hormones all about. You think I was in control? No, shit, there's no way I couldn't control my natural desire. There's no fucking way I can control those natural desire. You lie if you think you can. You can suppress it at all, whatever, but let me assure you, it come out sooner or later. Sooner, it should be better sooner than later. I think we'd be better, healthier, if we have an open mind about sexuality and sex. Sex is natural, okay? There's nothing to feel guilty about. Sex is just natural. So whatever your attraction is, whatever, who cares? As long as consent, their consent, consent. Whatever's, I guess what, so if it's because that's the first thing I realized, wow, this is what this is what it feels like to not be anxious. But that was the exact same thing at 19. At 18, when I finished college, finished high school, and I had a future in college waiting in 6 months, and everything that summer was amazing. I knew that this summer will never be like that ever again, because I had nothing, no fear. I can enjoy the moment. Every moment of that summer was amazing. I had no homework, nothing. Work was closed. Work was whatever, at 8 hours. Then I would after work, I don't have to think about work again. I can just have fun, and it was amazing. It was so nice to I remember that, and that's because after that, the rest of my life was anxiety. It was never the same. I mean, you get a few moments off and now, but I have never feel that in that kind of carefree, and I resent my mother for that, because we could have a better, happy childhood than that mother. It's not the money. It's always your greed and ambition, mother. Oh, it's for the children. It's for your. I don't need anything. It's for your. It's for your father. It's all for you. Yeah, right. So, therefore, what you then is you end up having a more balanced person once you know what it feels like to feel calm, have fun. There's no stress. You learn to eat appropriately. You learn to do things. I mean, I'm not saying that. My point is that figure out your own natural. I'm not saying that some people don't born anxious. Okay, I probably was born anxious. To be honest with you, I did. I'm pretty sure I did, from war and everything else, and the stress and all. It's been known that people during war, and that people children who are born to mother, have usually male has more stress and all, and behavioral problem due to because of war trauma and all. It's studied well done, so it doesn't matter. My point is that even if I was an anxious person, the first thing you would want them is teach them how to be calm then, and have play and just wear out. Even if they're not calm, let them play until they wear out and pass out, fall asleep. There's no reason to screw over your child to the point where the rest of his life he had to feel anxiety and has no sense of peace. And all he seeks is someone to can just give him a sense of peace, to be able to take care of me for a while so I can rest. I tried to negotiate that metaphor with Fitz on a road trip. I said, Fitz, we have to drink responsible. So we'll trade off. One night I get to drink, one night I get to drink wasted, and another night you get to drink wasted, okay? So, because next day we're going to have to drive and do things, and also no one wants to have a hangover, right? He couldn't do it. He could not stop me. He wouldn't stop me. He wouldn't try to change anything. I think we're not able to cooperate here, buddy. This is like survival mode here. And we were going camping too, and it's like, oh fuck it, forget it. This man can't. This man. I remember how it was. No, I mean, I used to have. I know how to build a team. I had a team. I know how to work in a team. Okay. I know how to distribute work, and I learned how to be nice to people, to let people have their own process, let them develop their own, sense of responsible for their job, the work and all, right? Have their work feel meaningful to them, right, Brian? Right, people I know? Shit. I just fell. So what have I learned from my own personal? Don't expect external reward. Do it for your own reward. You know your achievement better than no one else. So that's the important thing: is know your own value and achievement. Don't expect the external world to validate you. And I think if you raise a child confident enough where he knows when he or she play and is able to understand mindfulness and calm and being able to be present, what doesn't that's the most beautiful thing we all want to do in our lives, isn't it? To be just present to someone and all. So there is no reason why we should not teach people to be more present. So how many? So did I feel more present today? Yeah. Did I tell people that what I used to do between 2014 because to 20 all the way until was that it did help me, and I was dealing with a lot of stress. And yes, there was mania. There was overwhelming. It's unfair how you all gaslight me. And I've also this was fucking unfair. It was so fucking unfair. So what did I learn? Well, I think all the things I learned, most of the things by the age of 42, the rest from 42 onward, in the last decade now, mostly I was just in shock of what happened to all my investment. How could, I think I just been in shock of like, what just happened? What happened to my life? Why did I just get locked up for something I've always had in my life? This bipolar disorder. What do you mean bipolar disorder 2? Yes, I know it is. I have it. I'm aware of it. I didn't call it bipolar disorder 2. I call it depression and mania now then. But I knew if I get too depressed, I start looking why I get depressed, I became aware of these things already. I have proof. I can call someone else and I can tell, yes, Dao did work through these process. He did work through his mother issue. He worked through his father issue. He worked through his boss issue. He worked through all his issue with everybody in a small bureaucracy. When you live in when you work in the same group of people, you have to learn to deal with all things you don't like about them, because you see them every day for 20 years. Let me assure you, I would have stopped knowing Jeffrey Stern in 2000 if we didn't work together, because that guy was a fucking asshole. And I did stop speaking to him for a year and a half until Jerry asked me, please, can you guys start communicating to each other? I need you to cooperate. It was like that, actually. Something like that. No, but it become a friend of me. But so my point is, and so then my mother become a love-hate thing, depend on the mood, the day, whatever. So Have things changed? No, I mean, once I feel confident about, meaning I finally mature, meaning I had a sense of direction what I want for my career after I graduated from college, finally, because out of fear, but I knew what I wanted. And I even shared that with Bill Fleming, and we had a great conversation about it too. I had the same vision as an IT director of Floor. Do you know what that kind of mind is like? I've been dating, imagine, no, I've been dealing with men in their 40s or 35 since I was 18. I've been dealing with adult and working since I was 16. And at 14, helping adult using computer and all. I know the entire generation older than me. That's why I had difficult time relating to younger people my age. Now I can relate to all 40-year-old men because that's exactly, I've been 40 for 30 years now. I've been 40 to 50, for 30 years. I pretty much know this group of people. Meaning I was stressed during that age group, kids, work, wife, whatever. I've done it all. I heard it all. Go to the bar, listen to y'all. I've done it all. No, really. That's instead of hanging around with my age group. There's some of them are my age group, but most of the time we talk about work stuff and all. But my personal friends and relationship were all older than me. So what can I say? Yes, nothing changed. If I have known better, I would definitely, because what stopped me a lot from work advancement was my anxiety, and my communication skill is because of anxiety. And so if I wasn't so anxious about socializing, I can listen to people's name, remember them, be more present in a moment. I test this out with marijuana, and it did exactly that. Oh my God, I had a blast going to places and just being in the moment. So that's what I mean. Can we live in the present moment always? Because and whatever it is, we're doing it. So I think the important thing is to teach your kids about play, present moment, and enjoying and appreciating life. That is really the fear of tomorrow is a fear of tomorrow. That's not real. When it happens, we'll deal with it. You see? But there is awareness. We know collectively, we know that, that's what we call science. That's what we call common knowledge. It's not common, but it's common, meaning knowledge is always common, by the way. It has to be. By definition, we study this. We debate this in philosophy. Okay, never mind. Have a good night. Bye-bye.